68-year-old Margaret Thompson from Phoenix, Arizona, was reviewing her monthly bills when she noticed something that stopped her in her tracks. Her Social Security statement showed an increase that seemed too good to be true. She called her neighbor, retired veteran Frank Rodriguez, who had been receiving VA disability benefits for the past 15 years. Frank had noticed the same thing on his monthly compensation statement. Both were wondering if there had been some mistake, or if they were finally seeing the relief they had been hoping for after years of rising costs. What they discovered would affect millions of Americans just like them, and the timing couldn't be more crucial. If you're one of the millions of Americans relying on Social Security or VA benefits, or if you know someone who is, make sure to like this video and subscribe to The Golden Money for the latest updates on benefits that directly impact your financial future. The cost of living adjustment, commonly known as COLA, represents one of the most important annual announcements for retirees and veterans across America. This adjustment serves as a financial lifeline, helping to ensure that the purchasing power of benefits keeps pace with the rising cost of everyday necessities. For 2025, both Social Security recipients and veterans receiving VA benefits will see their monthly payments increase, but understanding exactly when these changes take effect and how they impact your specific situation requires a closer examination of the details. Social Security benefits for more than 72.5 million Americans increased by 2.5% beginning in January 2025. This translates to real money in the pockets of beneficiaries. For the average retiree receiving Social Security, this means an additional $48 per month, raising the typical monthly payment from $1,920 to $1,968. While this might seem modest, over the course of a year, this represents nearly $600 additional that can help cover essential expenses like groceries, medications, and utility bills. Veterans receiving VA disability compensation are experiencing the same 2.5% increase. For a veteran with a 10% disability rating, this means an additional $4.28 per month. However, for those with higher disability ratings, the impact is more substantial. Veterans with a 100% disability rating who don't have dependents will see their monthly compensation increase by $93.45, bringing their total monthly payment to $3,831.30. The timing of these increases is particularly significant. Social Security recipients began seeing the increased amounts in their January 2025 payments, which were typically deposited or mailed in early February. Veterans Affairs benefits also increased effective December 1, 2024, meaning veterans saw the higher payments beginning with their January 2025 deposits. This timing helps beneficiaries start the new year with additional financial resources to address the ongoing challenges of inflation and rising living costs. Consider the real-world impact through the experience of someone like Robert Chen, a 73-year-old retiree from Cleveland, Ohio. Robert relies on his Social Security benefit of $2,000 per month as his primary source of income. With the COLA increase, his monthly benefit rises to $2,050. Over the course of the year, this additional $600 helps him manage the increased costs of his prescription medications, which have risen significantly due to inflation. For Robert, this isn't just about numbers on a statement, it's about maintaining his quality of life and independence. Similarly, consider Maria Santos, a 45-year-old Air Force veteran from San Antonio, Texas, who receives VA disability compensation for service-connected injuries. With a 70% disability rating, her monthly compensation increased from approximately $2,900 to nearly $3,000. This additional income helps her cover the cost of specialized medical treatments not fully covered by VA healthcare, allowing her to maintain her health while supporting her family. The calculation of COLA adjustments follows a specific federal formula based on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, known as CPIW. This index measures the average change in prices paid by consumers for goods and services over time. When the CPIW increases from the third quarter of one year to the third quarter of the next year, Social Security and VA benefits receive a corresponding percentage increase. The 2.5% increase for 2025 reflects the inflationary pressures experienced throughout 2024, though it represents a decrease from the higher COLA adjustments seen in recent years. This moderation in the COLA percentage actually signals positive economic news. indicating that inflation has begun to slow compared to the dramatic increases experienced in 2022 and 2023. However, for beneficiaries who have been struggling with elevated costs for essential items like food, housing, and healthcare, any increase provides welcome relief. The key is understanding that COLA adjustments are designed to maintain purchasing power rather than increase it, meaning they help beneficiaries keep up with rising costs rather than get ahead financially. The impact extends beyond individual beneficiaries to family members and caregivers who often help manage the finances of elderly relatives or disabled veterans. Adult children who assist their parents with monthly budgets can now factor in these increased payments when planning for expenses like assisted living costs, home modifications, or enhanced medical care. For families caring for disabled veterans, the increased VA compensation can help offset the rising costs of adaptive equipment, therapy services, and other specialized needs. Looking ahead, early projections for 2026 suggest that COLA adjustments may remain in the 2 to 3% range, assuming inflation continues to moderate. The Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan organization that advocates for seniors, has projected a potential 2.5% COLA for 2026, which would mark the first time in over 40 years that COLA increases remained identical in consecutive years. However, these projections remain preliminary, and the actual 2026 adjustment will depend on economic conditions throughout 2025. For beneficiaries planning their finances, it's important to remember that COLA increases are automatic and require no action on their part. Social Security recipients don't need to contact the Social Security Administration, and veterans don't need to reach out to the Veterans Affairs Department. The increases are applied automatically to existing benefits. However, beneficiaries should verify that their payments reflect the correct amounts and contact the appropriate agency if they believe there has been an error. The broader economic implications of these COLA increases extend throughout communities across America. When millions of beneficiaries receive additional income, much of that money is spent locally on goods and services, providing a stimulus effect for businesses, particularly those serving older adults and veterans. Local grocery stores, pharmacies, restaurants, and service providers often see increased business when benefit payments rise, creating a positive economic cycle that benefits entire communities. For those approaching retirement or recently separated from military service, understanding how COLA adjustments work can help in long-term financial planning. These annual increases, while not guaranteed to be substantial, provide an important hedge against inflation over the course of a retirement that may span several decades. This protection becomes increasingly valuable as people live longer and face extended periods of relying on fixed incomes. The most crucial information for current beneficiaries is that these increases are now in effect and will continue throughout 2025. The additional income can be strategically used to build emergency savings, address deferred maintenance on homes, invest in health and wellness activities, or simply provide greater peace of mind about meeting daily expenses. For those who have been living paycheck to paycheck on their benefits, this increase, while modest, can provide meaningful breathing room in their monthly budgets. Remember to regularly check your benefit statements to ensure you're receiving the correct amounts, and consider consulting with a financial advisor about how to best utilize these increased payments within your overall financial strategy. The combination of Social Security and VA benefits, enhanced by annual COLA adjustments, continues to provide essential support for millions of Americans who have earned these benefits through their work and service to our country.